조선인민주의공화국은 불결한 양키와 외세의 제국주의적 침략으로부터 우리 위대한 백도 혈통에 의한 투쟁을 계속해올 것입니다. 반동분자들의 활동과 공화국의 안위에 대한 위협에 대해 우리 공화국은 더 이상 자비를 베풀지 않을 것입니다. 미제국주의자들과 괴뢰군의 침략과 억압으로부터 우리 인민들이 자유로워질 때까지 이러한 위대한 투쟁을 계속할 것입니다. 조선인민군 최고사령관 위대한 영도자 김정은 만세, 우리 위대한 공화국 만만세.
After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea lost valuable economic ties that the North Korean economy had heavily relied on. This loss, combined with heavy floods and later severe droughts, resulted in the collapse of the country's agricultural industry and the poor state of the economy. A food crisis that affected almost the entire population emerged out of these two factors. As a result, thousands of North Koreans fled their country and crossed the border into the People's Republic of China in search of food. It was in this moment that the debate began on whether North Korean asylum seekers should be considered refugees or illegal immigrants. This debate is crucial to the fate of North Korean asylum seekers because of how they are treated, whether they are considered refugees or illegal immigrants. How countries perceive this debate will determine whether North Korean asylum seekers get the opportunity to start new lives in a new country or are sent back to their homeland.
From the law perspective, the identity of North Korean defectors could be more diverse. According to the UN Conference in 1951, the refugees and stateless persons are defined as people who is outside the country of his nationality, owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. According to this convention, it seems like only apply for those political refugees subject to human political persecution. It did not provide a full explanation for other reasons, such as illegal economic activities. Therefore, there existing different voices towards the identity of North Korean defectors in international society. The most prominent example is China. Because of locations and similar ideology, North Korea had many economic contacts with China. During the process of communication, some illegal economic activities gradually result. In exchange for money, through the black market in North Korea, many women were sold as brides to Chinese men in rural areas. For this group of people, it's hard for a country to decide their identity. If accepting them as defectors, they would lose contact with their domestic families, and receiving country would have extra burden by taking responsibility for treating these refugees as normal foreigners with certain privilege, as the UN Convention required.
As Veronica and Ifan have described above, many North Koreans face the tough decision as to whether or not they want to defect. Within North Korean defectors, it's important to recognize that women North Korean defectors experience is very different from that of men. There are several testimonial pieces of evidence that demonstrate this. One famous case that demonstrates this is Hysun Lee's TED Talk, in which she describes her experience growing up in North Korea. Her testimonial is especially important to this presentation as it demonstrates how her proof of status, whether it be illegal migrant or refugee, changed depending on where she defected to. Specifically, she describes her experience of being an illegal migrant when defecting to China as compared to now, in which she resides in the US and is considered a refugee. Similar to Hysun Lee's TED Talk, the Tongyo Mom speakers that came to visit our class spoke of their experiences with childbirth, forced abortion, deportation, repatriation, given the fact that North Korean defector women are considered illegal migrants in China. As stressed by the Tongyo Moms and demonstrated by the sheer number of organizations that dedicate themselves to spreading the word about the Chinese stance on North Korean defectors, this issue is pressing and will remain so until North Korean defectors are welcomed as refugees.
I will now be giving the story of a North Korean refugee. My grandfather Kim Byung-gak was born in Pyeongan-bukdo, present-day North Korea, in 1926. My grandfather left two brothers behind in the north and escaped with his two other brothers into the south shortly before the start of the Korean War. Life in the south was not easy for my grandfather either. PTSD from his experience from a North Korean POW camp left him emotionally scarred. Furthermore, this was coupled by economic hardship. My grandfather often toiled in the field for hours with my grandmother, who owned a farm in South Korea after she escaped from the north. As a result of the economic hardship and low income received from being a farmer, he smuggled items in from other countries, including a wedding ring and household items from Japan, and evaded duty taxes to provide for his family. My grandfather eventually moved to the States and resided there until his death. In the international community, my grandfather may be considered a refugee. However, in South Korea, this is a different story. According to Chapter 1, Article 3 of the Republic of Korea's Constitution, My grandfather is a citizen who has been oppressed by a terrorist regime.